everyone. Today I'm working on Valentine's Day gift baskets, and I wanted to kind of go through and do a step-by-step of how I put them together. Um, Please take a moment, hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate that very much if you would do that. I love to make gift baskets. I love making Valentine baskets, and I just wanted to kind of show you guys if you wanted to do this. It's really simple. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to gather together all of the different items and some type of container, basket, box, whatever it is that you want to use. Right here I just have this basket, and since I have body washes and things like that, this basket is a great item that they can use as like a shower tote for when they open up the gift basket. So that's why I chose that for this particular one. So I do have a body wash, a 2-in-1 for the hair, some deodorant, all in the swagger of Old Spice, a stuffed animal. I have these really great cinnamon candles that smell really good, artificial roses that I'm going to decorate it with. I have some Lindor chocolates and some boxer shorts and some balloons. So, what I typically like to do is get some type of paper because it gives the bottom a little bit of a base. So I don't want to bulk it up too much because I don't want the stuff like totally hanging out of the basket, but I do want it where you can see it a little bit. So I'm going to take this paper and I'm just going to kind of put it in here and see if that's about the height that I want it. And I think that is pretty good. I didn't want to overstuff this one, but you can see the items in there. It gives it a little bit of a base on the bottom. So after you kind of crumple up the paper and you put it in the bottom of the basket, you're going to want to take it out. Now, I don't like for the paper to show through all of these holes. So what I typically do is I use tissue paper. And I just take that bundle of paper and I wrap it around. Now, you can use all tissue paper, but it's not going to bulk it up as much, so you'll need more of it if you do it like that. And then you just kind of push it down in there, and when you do that, you can see that you don't see all of the brown through the holes. So I'm going to push that down a little bit, and I'm going to take another piece of tissue paper, just kind of, well, maybe 2 more pieces of tissue paper to just kind of crinkle up, and then I'm going to start building in my basket. So for this one, I could put the stuffed animal in here, but as much stuff as I have, I don't think that I'm going to do that for this one. So what I am going to do is I'm going to put all of the items that I want to add to my gift basket. So I have these candles, and I will place those in there. And sometimes you have to kind of watch your weight, because if you put too much weight on one side, it will tip over. And I'm just going to go ahead and add the rest of my items to my gift basket. So I like to display it in a way where you can kind of see everything the best that you can. This chocolate bag might be a little bit too tall to see the boxers in, but nope, actually I think that will be fine. Because they're still in there, and when I sell them, I like to take pictures of things before and after I make them, because a lot of times people say, hey, what's in it, because they can't really see everything that's in there. So I like to do the before and after pictures. So that is pretty much it for the inside of the basket. Now, I was thinking about just having this guy, I was kind of thinking I liked him on the side, so I may just go ahead and wrap him inside of the gift basket on the outside of the basket, which is something I like to do a lot with like larger items or other items. I will put them on the outside of the basket as well as the inside. Now I have these foam hearts, and just for a little added decor, I was going to go ahead and just put one of those on the front of the basket because it is Valentine's Day and it is all about love. So I think that I'm going to go ahead and add that heart to the front of the basket, and it'll stay in place. I mean, I could tape it or whatever, but I'm not going to do that because once I wrap the basket, it'll hold into place. And one more thing, which I almost forgot about, I bought this the other day at Hobby Lobby, and it's actually a tabletop decor piece. It says that it makes 2 of them, so there's 4 of these heart pieces, and you're supposed to put 2 of them together to make a tabletop decoration that looks like this. But I thought instead of doing that, I was going to attempt to use one of them. Now it looks like this on both sides, but I thought about kind of just like bending the small hearts like that and adding it to the back of the basket, which may kind of cover up the little stuffed animal, but we can always move him around or adjust him as needed. But no, actually it looks really good, so I think that pretty much sums up what I'm going to do. Now I can get ready to go ahead and wrap. So I do not like to use bags. I use cellophane because it gives it a cleaner look. It looks more professional. You don't have the looseness, and you don't have to bother with like a blow dryer or something to shrink the plastic. So give me just a second. I have to pull off this plastic. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and slide the basket aside. And we're going to move that over so I have enough room to unroll the cellophane. Now, I guess for this part of it, I could stand on the other side of the table. I just didn't want to have to keep turning everything around to show you guys. So, what you're going to do is you're going to unwrap your cellophane and just go ahead and roll it out. So, like I was saying, you're just going to go ahead and you're going to roll out your cellophane paper. I have to move everything else off the table so I have a little space. And you're going to go ahead and lay your basket on the paper, and you want to give enough slack on the end to go a few inches over. If you have a wider basket, you want to have even more slack on top, because once you get to pulling it together, you need to have enough to make sure that the basket is completely enclosed. You don't want it to have like gaps or whatever in there. So I'm going to give it some extra slack, even if it's not needed. It's better to have a little bit too much than not enough. And I'm going to place my heart in the front and my stuffed animal on the side, and make sure that he's all straightened out and you have him the way you want him. And see, now I need to give a little bit more slack because adding the stuffed animal made it so the paper was a little bit shorter. And move it over a little so you have enough room on both sides to close it up. So anyway, you're going to go ahead and pull up the cellophane and make it equal on both the front and the back of the basket. You're going to want to go ahead and cut that cellophane paper. And you want to be careful because it sometimes can tear. It's very delicate paper. And if you start to get a snag in it where it starts to tear, you may not want to use that piece, because sometimes that tear will go all the way down and you're going to have to rewrap it anyway. So be careful of tearing the paper while you're doing this. So I'm going to cut a few pieces of tape. I like to stick them on the table. It makes it a lot easier to grab them when you're gathering the cellophane paper. And what you're going to do is pull up both sides and You're going to take the corners, hold them together on the top, and then you're going to pinch this end in the back, and then just give it a little fold all the way to the back. And then you're going to want to tape that. Now, don't worry that the stuffed animal fell over. It's not really a big deal because you can fix that when you get to the other side. So now that I got that side taped, I'm going to put the stuffed animal where I want him. And once again, you don't have to worry too much because you can adjust it because the top of it's still open. Like I said, though, you want to be careful not to rip the cellophane paper. So I want to have this really good and tight. So I'm going to pinch the top. And I can let that go once I got the two corners to meet. And then just kind of push in because the stuffed animal has a lot of cushion and you don't want a really loose basket. So you're going to grab that end of it and you're just going to pull it tightly, and then you're going to tape that down. And then you may want to reinforce the tape. You don't want it to come loose. So put a few extra pieces on there to make sure that it's good and secure. And now you can go inside of your basket and look at everything, and you can adjust it in case something moved along the way and you want it to look differently than it does. This is your chance to move things the way you want them to be. So, and take a look. Now, my deodorant fell over, so I can fix that. It's probably going to fall over again, so I am going to go ahead and put one more piece of tissue in that front to kind of keep it in place. I told you I put that little heart in the front, so now is the time to position it to where you want it to be. So once you do that and you have all of your stuff ready to go, I use regular ribbon. You can use any color that you want or multiple colors. And I'm just going to take a few long pieces, basically to the top of the basket to around the table or so, you know, and I'm going to cut a couple of those or one of those or 10 of them, however many ribbons you want. It just adds a little bit of extra dazzle or whatever you want to say. So I'm going to take that ribbon, grab it in the middle. Now this is where you start gathering, okay? And maybe I should go back to the front to show you this. Move the balloons. Okay, so you're going to want to start gathering. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to take your back first, because the back has a little bit more material on it. So you want to kind of grab all of that before you grab the front of it, and then start gathering it together. And as you're gathering it, start going down the basket. You don't want it super loose. You want it to be as far down without making it too tight. And once it looks good to you, you can tie it up. But for me, before I tie it up, because I did add something else, and I probably should have checked this before I closed up the basket, but I'm adding these roses in here. Hopefully it's not too long. Oh no, I think that looks really good. So I secured that, and make sure that your cellophane is nice and pretty. Once again, be pretty gentle on it so it does not tear. Get a nice, tight, firm hand on it, and go ahead and tie your ribbon tightly around it. So you're going to pull it really tight. And now once you do that, you may want to trim the top of it unless you like the way that it looks. I usually trim it to clean it up. So we're going to go ahead and cut this down, and you do that by just, you know, a few inches of cellophane left, and you just go around it, and you should get a pretty nice clean look. And then you can spread it out to give it a little bit of flair. So once you're done doing that, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to run it through the ribbon for curls. Now this is a bigger ribbon than I typically use. This one's a lot thicker. wider. Usually it's a lot thinner than this, but that is okay. And if you're not happy with the way the curl came out, just do it a couple times and it should come out just fine. See, with this one, it doesn't curl as easily as the thin one. So you may have to do it a couple times if you have the thicker ribbon. And once you do that, you have all of your curls in place. And now it's the time to add the balloons. So I have these 3 balloons. Let me untie them. I tied them together, which I guess I could have really left them together, but so you're going to go ahead and take your balloons and you're going to wrap it around. You don't want to knot it up too much because the person taking them off, you don't want them to have to fight around with, you know, the ribbon or have to cut the strings in case they want to keep the strings on it. So just give it a tie. You have your ribbons connected. And the very next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to add my ribbon bow. I was thinking about adding both of these, a plain solid red, and then there's this black and white with the hearts that go with the rest of the hearts on the basket already. So you can make your ribbon as big or small as you want it to be. It can be a giant bow, it can be a small bow. I think for this one I'm not going to go too big and I'm not going to go too small. So you kind of check out where you want your tails to be. If they're too long, they're going to be kind of covering what you have going on. So I think probably around like 6 to 8 inches for this one. And then you're going to give your ribbon a twist. And I have this little bow thing, but you can do this by pinching it in your hand. I'll show you that on another video if you want to learn how to make bows without using one of these. And then you just give it a loop, however big you want the loop to be. And you secure that to the other part that you're either pinching in your finger or you have held down. You twist the ribbon once again, and you make another bow or another loop, and you want that to be like the size of the other side. So you want both of the loops to match in size. So like that. And then you're going to make your tail the same length as the other. So, since I'm adding 2 ribbons, I'm going to do the same thing with this other ribbon color that I have. Usually when you're layering like that, especially when you're using like a smaller one, you're going to want the loops to be smaller than the original. Now, with certain ribbons, if they're like these hearts, you don't want them to be upside down. So this one I'm going to do a little bit different. What I'm basically going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and cut a piece. And you're going to fold it in half. And you're going to take that fold and you're going to crinkle it up into a pinch. And then you're going to take that loop and pinch it again. And then you're going to take this loop and you're going to pinch it again. And you can fix it in your hand. But the whole reason of doing a bow like that is that the hearts are all going the same direction. They're all straight up and down. Because if you did it the other way, then half of your hearts would be upside down. Don't worry if one tail is longer than the other. You can always trim them down. But I'm going to go ahead and attach that to the other bow. Now, I have this floral wire right here. You can use... let's see, you can use twist ties, you can use pipe cleaners, you know, you can use string, you can really use just about anything, but I like to reinforce it by folding it in half so it's a little bit sturdier. And I bend it in half. I'm going to pinch the ribbon now that I have it together, and I'm going to put that from the front to the back and give it a few good twists right here, and just twist it and make sure that your ribbon is tight right there. Now, once you do that, you can fix your ribbon. You want it to all go in the direction that you want it to be. You're going to fluff out your loops. And the other thing that I like to do is dovetail the ends, and you do that by folding this in half. And then you're going to cut from the wired edge down towards the middle. And when you do that, you're going to have this nice, clean, pretty end. So again, you fold it together and you go either from the middle to the wire end up, or I'm just kind of backwards here, or you go from the wire downward towards the middle. So that gives you that nice finished dovetail. And you're going to do the same things with all of the ribbon. And these ones, one of the tails was a little longer, so I want to make sure that those are the same size so they match. And I'm going to do the same thing with that. And here you go. Here's your bow. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to attach that right here. And we're going to twist it in the back. And once you got it twisted, you want to fix your ribbon. You want to make it really nice and make sure that you can see everything and that it's fixed the way that you want it to be. You're going to fluff out your loops, and there you guys go. That is my tutorial for my Valentine's Day gift baskets. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Let me go ahead and pause this for a minute so I can show you the basket all the way around. Thank you. Sorry guys, I had the camera backwards and hopefully I flipped it in the same direction and it's not upside down. But here is what the basket looks like all the way around. I think everything came out nicely. I got the balloons. And that's what my basket looks like. There's a stuffed animal on the side. A nice clean back. If you have it a little loose right here, you can add a little bit more tape. And yeah, there is my Valentine's Day gift basket. Thanks for watching, you guys. I appreciate it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.